Brad obviously come out to this most years. Why is this important for you?
He's one of us. He's one of the all-time greats, and when you do something as special as what he's doing, and this is year 36, something that impacts our community in so many ways, and I think it speaks volumes to he and Wendy and their kids for making the effort, making the trip to be here. And I'm so excited for him. As long as he's doing this, I'm going to continue to support this, to support him, and not just Cunningham, but it's a very special deal, and it impacts our community, and excited to be a small piece of it.
I know your whole team isn't here yet, but what have you found out about your team so far in the summer workouts you've been able to see?
We got good size. I think they're working extremely hard. I think the important piece is we've done a lot more teaching earlier this year, I like that. I think we've made some significant improvements in the weight room. Of course, Adam does such a good job with our guys in that area. So, I think it's step by step. It's a process. I like our group. I think we've got versatility. I've been really pleased with our freshmen and what they've done. We've still got a few more to be here, and we'll take that day by day. There's patience is something I'm not great at, but it's something I have to have in this case. But I love their effort. I love what they're doing. The new guys, the two transfers, Andre and Z, have both been great. They've been very receptive to listening and making improvements and buying into what we're doing. So excited about where this group's at.
Z has been practicing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's been with us. He's been he's getting acclimated to the weight room and what we're doing there. Conceptually, he's picking up things great. He's got a good way. He's very cerebral and picks things up very quickly. And now it's just it's trying to make as much growth as we can. Strength and conditioning wise, get him in shape where he can play longer stints. He's an elite shooter. And we've got to get him buying into all the things that impact winning for us, and he's working really hard at that.
Any clarity on Ty and his injury?
No, he started rehab today. He's on campus, so he started his recovery process. How that goes can vary, but right now he's back. That's the important thing. We love having his voice and his presence in the gym, and now he starts the tough part started today, and that's the recovery piece and the rehabilitation and physical therapy piece. So beyond that, it's we'll just take it day by day and not put a time frame on anything, and see how it materializes as we go.
You mentioned your freshmen. What stands out about Brandon and Keaton individually?
Yeah, they've both been really well coached. I think that their feel has been very, very good. I've been very pleased with Keaton. He's got great size, 6'5", 6'6". We've done a lot of the same things we did with Will Riley with him, playing him on the ball almost exclusively. At this point, we know he can really shoot, but his passing has been tremendous. And then, Brandon's been a guy that is a downhill guy. He's got a scorer's mentality. He uses that body, on his drives, and again, both those guys have shown a nice ability to make decisions in ball screens and pass, and I like that versatility.
You mentioned on stage the guys going through the summer league process right now. How big is that for the current locker room? Is that something they're paying attention to?
Oh, they watch every game.
Yeah.
They watch every game, and it's always good to see guys, and you see the difference. With Terrence being a year 2 guy, and just what that experience does, and we actually talked about that with our guys a little bit today. Is and Kasparis and Will are finding their way, and they're feeling their way through it, and so it's exciting, and you see how hard those guys are playing, how good the players are. there's a lot of guys playing in that summer league that maybe you've never heard of before. A lot of good players out there, so you've got to bring it every day. And but it's fun to see a nice group of our former players playing in summer league.
Do you feel like you're any closer to a resolution with him and the two missing guys yet, or like what's your confidence level?
It is day to day. We're at a point where we just sit back and it's getting through through all their channels over there. There's nothing we can do. There's no one we can call. We can't speed anything up. So we'll just wait and see what that process looks like. And we've heard some positive things, and so we'll keep holding out that we're moving in the right direction.
Does Kendall speak to your team when he comes down for this, or has he, or will he?
He has in the past. He's I'm not sure I want him too close to the gym right now knowing that his son's going to Northwestern. But no, he's always one of us. We talk about him a lot. We know what it means to give back to a community in a place that changed his life in so many ways. And it's very, very impressive to see him take the time and the commitment 36 years later to keep wanting to come back and never forget. And those are things we talk about a lot with our guys, and sometimes we lose that in this world of transfer portal. And but this is home for him, and it's a place he's comfortable. We see Mary Henson here today, and obviously she was a big part of his time here, so it's just it's really neat to see that. We talk about that a lot.
Brad, Andre, I know you're high on him. What have you seen from him so far? How's he kind of made his way into this team?
Yeah, versatility has been. I knew he was versatile. I didn't know how good he is. I think that he's growing. I think he's having to learn to trust. Playing with Tommy, with Z, with guys, with Ben, that every time he comes off a ball screen, or he's got guys that can make plays and shoot it, and I think that connectivity is developing. He's got great lateral quickness. He's been very, very good on the defensive end and the defensive stuff we've done. So I'm excited with him. I think he can be an outstanding defensive player. Got to get him to rebound more. Got to get him, in terms of Fletch is really kind of changing his body a little bit. So I'm excited about that. And I think in a couple of months when season starts, we'll have an elite athlete that's fully in tune with what we're doing.
Year two with Jake and Ben, two guys that probably don't get talked about a lot, like especially with Ty. What do those two mean? What's the summer mean for them?
Well, they're probably the two guys that had the best offseason. I think Ben was 244 today. A guy that you see him with his shirt off, and it's like, I don't recognize this guy. I mean, he's got cut, he's strong, he's added the right weight. But the most important thing is, I think, just the level of confidence of knowing what's coming, and I love that from him. I think his versatility. He's worked on a lot of different things in terms of his ball handling. We know he's a really good shooter and can space, but I think he continues to just grow from a confidence standpoint. Jake's gone the other way. Jake's lost a bunch of weight, and that's helped him athletically. We know he's a great connector. He's got great shooting ability. I love the fact that I think he's got a chance to be one of the best shooters in the Big Ten. When he lines it up, he doesn't miss. And again, a guy that has grown from the confidence side of things just because he's been in it, and he knows now. It's not, what's next, when you come from Mercer to the Big Ten. Now he's been through all of that. And both those guys have made great strides. I'm really pleased with them.
Broadly, what does a year two mean in the system? You think of what TJ did his second year, and down the line, you got 4 guys in that role now.
Yeah, it's so relative because I think that there's no substitute for experience, and knowledge is breeds confidence. We were just talking about Terrence Shannon in the NBA. Year one, and compared to year 2 and what we're seeing just of him in the summer league. And that when you're down a level, it's the same thing. Just knowing what's coming and having a year of weights, having a year of the expectations of what I'm going to demand on the defensive end, what I'm going to demand on the glass, what we do offensively. Instead of thinking about it, you react to it, and with that comes confidence. And confidence is the biggest thing. And I think there's tremendous knowledge and value and experience, and I'm the biggest proponent of it. We see it with Kylan. He ended the year on such a great note. We're seeing him just take that to a whole new level. He's taking that into the season and just taking it and run with it, so to speak, and growing. So I'm very excited about our group of veterans.
What about Tommy? How has he turned year 2? Like, what's different for him right now?
The biggest changes with him, I think we'll see, he was so smart, and Tommy's been so well schooled throughout, and you don't have an appreciation until you coach him of how good his reads are and everything he does. That part's great. I think that the biggest changes with him are physical. He was 265 pounds now. He came in at 228. You see him move better, you're seeing him jump better, you're seeing, again, a guy that has always had a lot of confidence in his ability to shoot, but now we're seeing him make plays off the dribble. We're seeing him finish better. We're seeing him a much better post-up player because he's stronger. Fletch gets all the credit for that, and he's stayed here. He hasn't gone home. He's put in a lot of time in terms of the weight room and growth in that area. So, I think we've got one of the best centers in the country.
It's a dynamic like having his brother in the locker room too. How's that been?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm still really excited to see how that matriculates to the court all the time. They're both very competitive, and Tommy's in a place where he's really trying to help Z and educate him quickly. And yet they get frustrated with each other because they're twins, and we see that. And Tommy had a turnover the other day that he thought Z should have caught, and they bark at each other a little bit, and that's fun. And yet it's you see their chemistry as well and how good it can be. And it's just it's right now it's Tommy's in a good spot because he's been here and he's trying to help his brother get to that speed, and when he does, it'll be special.
Ask me about the process of getting Kevin here with you guys and how that came about and what you hope he adds.
Yeah, I'm really excited about having Kevin join us, and obviously a name that's synonymous with Illinois basketball with his dad. Kevin's stellar play at Centennial High School back in the day, but a guy who's been a head coach. He's been. He's run a program. He's set in the seat. He knows what that's like. He'll give us great perspective that's different, maybe than what we do. I think he's got a plethora of knowledge to continue to help us and our staff grow in some different areas and help our players. And exciting to have him dive into a lot of the other teams in our league and our opponents. And look at things maybe with a little different set of eyes than I do, or that we do. So, I think he can be a great assistance in the recruiting game, diving into portal, diving into film and evaluating guys, and maybe a different set of connections or contacts than what we have. So, just a guy with a tremendous amount of experience. A name that is synonymous in the world of basketball as very successful and very good, and his family, he's got his wife from here, he's got 3 young children. We're excited to add that, and at the end of the day, just a great person, and we try to hire really good people, and at the end of the day, I know we've not just hired a really good coach, we've hired an asset for Champaign-Urbana and the University of Illinois and our basketball staff.
Brad, you're on the recruiting trail right now. Where's high school basketball recruiting fit in today's age of house settlement, of the transfer portal, all of that?
Great question. I think we're all trying to figure that out. I think we know it's going to be more relevant than maybe it has been in the last 2 years. I think, we've got away from the COVID guys in the 5th year and some of the big age discrepancy. I think we're all looking for guys that can develop and will stay in your program and continue to add value through longevity. That'll help keep your culture. And then I think we're all trying to figure out, okay, what are those numbers? What is the value look for the top guys? And if they're one and done, are you getting their best basketball? Are you going to see them? Can they help you compared to a veteran? So I think there's a lot of factors involved that we're all trying to play through. And we've got 2 seniors, and Kylan and Ben, and realistically we could have a whole team back. I don't expect that, but I think right now we're kind of taking a little wait and see with a lot of guys, evaluating a lot of guys at a lot of different positions, and we know we've got some holes we got to fill. We got to go get those, but we're pretty active in high school recruiting right now.